Hey everyone, it's been a little while. I've been busy trying to do family stuff and Christmas break and New Year and everything in between, and December kind of just runs away with you. I went on holiday at the start of December and had 2.5 weeks before Christmas broke up, and or before people broke up for Christmas, and it was just hard to get that momentum back. So whilst a December holiday sounds nice, I don't think I'll be doing it again. I might actually make sure that my holidays probably fit somewhere around my birthday, which is the start of October. That feels like a right amount of time to be able to get back into things before then taking time off at the end of the year. So we'll see if that works out this year. I might try and book something soon so that I can force that to happen. I've got a list of New Year's resolutions, which I'll quickly show you there, that I want to get done by the end of the year, and one of them is taking holidays more often. So let's see. In the meantime, though, there was something that I wanted to discuss here, something that I'm thinking about a lot, one for the new business, but also something that I think about a lot and talk about a lot with a lot of people, and I think more people need to know about and talk about it, to be honest, which is social currency. Now, I understand in a world that's obsessed with blockchain and cryptocurrency, the word currency is overused a lot at the moment, and often in places where, thanks to companies like FTX, there's a lot of nefarious activity. I'm not talking about anything that's to do with a token or anything digital. There's no NFTs in this conversation. But what I am talking about when I talk about social currency is reputational value. It's value that we build up by helping people, by helping each other, by doing things essentially unconditionally, that then people feel like we are valuable because of that. It's what we do when we start businesses often, right? We'll do free work for people. If we have a service business or if we have a product business, we'll often give things away because that builds up a social currency that people then feel like they have an owing back, and you can often call those favors in. Now with the new business, I'm going to try and build a tangible number around that reputational value. I've built up loads of social currency over the years, but it's not something I can spend. I cannot spend that to get goods and services, the latest car, a better house, even a new notebook that I need to fill with more New Year's resolutions. I can't do that, but what if I could? And in the new company, there is a concept that should allow us to do that, and I'm really excited to bring that about. But what is social currency? How do you build it, and how do you use it? Well, I'm going to dive into that really deeply on essentially the course content that we're building for the new Pivot at Different, as we move away from the new businesses angle, focusing and deepening into entrepreneurship. But to keep this brief for you guys on the YouTube audience, to discuss further potentially in other videos, social currency is built by doing what I say, which is unconditional value, providing help, being of value to others. That can be via making intros or doing stuff for free, as I say. And then understanding how to call that in is also really important, because it can end up with faux pas at some points. The real way to use social currency is to call it in lightly, infrequently, and often as a result of somebody offering it back to you. Now, there is an unspoken conversation when it comes to building this social currency that, people will give back to you whether you ask for it or not, generally speaking. But by ratio, you're always going to get people that tend to take more than they give back. It's not necessarily their faults, it's just their belief systems and the fact that they've not watched content like this to understand how this works. So you have to understand that you're probably going to always give a little bit more than you take away. And that's okay, because the moment that ratio switches is the moment you become a taker, and that's not necessarily something you want to do, because it damages social currency and reputation. People don't want to work with, hang out with, be friends with somebody who's known for taking more than they give. So there's a standard social construct here of being a good person and giving and helping. But I guess that forms a lot of the belief systems that are set about in things like religion and just all sorts of community-based activity. But if you do want to call things in, then it's just not necessarily about exchange in the current way things are done. It's not about saying, hey, I did this for you, so can you do this for me? It's about doing something for somebody, and then knowing that when you ask for a favor, it's not necessarily a favor in return. It's just asking for a favor that they'll probably remember, or at least feel like they are more than happy to do you a favor as a result. And actually, there's some logic to this too, because science says that if you ask somebody for a favor, they are actually more likely to like you than they did before. That's really interesting, because you often feel when you ask for a favor like you're taking from them, and so that's going to negatively damage your social currency with that person. But the science says that it's actually the other way around. So the moral of that story is not to be afraid of asking for favors, and frankly, do as much as you can for others before that happens. I'm not here touting any religious belief at all, but just the moral rule of community is to help others, and then naturally, organically, not mystically or spiritually, but through logic and science, you will get something in return. But do not forget to ask for those things in return, because otherwise you may find that you give far more and spend a lot of your energy in doing so. So manage the social currency until there's a tangible way of doing so, which hopefully in due course I'll be able to provide. But that's a little thought on social currency, and yeah, let me know if you have any thoughts on that. If you use it, if you were aware of this concept in the first place, if it's something that I've now provided some practical thinking around something that was always intangible for you. Any questions, comments, or thoughts, just post them in the comment section below, and let's discuss. Here's to a big 2023. Back in the game now, doing more filming. Hey, I've got one of these. And a big light, as you can see. So more coming soon. Stay tuned, like, subscribe, all that stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next one.